Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi everyone. Welcome back to Sada Education. So today we will be looking a bit about the situation in the global market. You know very well that several banking failures has somehow produced more and more question with regards to the stability of the financial system. And for Islamic banking, we want to at least understand how will the Islamic bank react to any policy, pursued by the regulatory authority, especially the central bank. We know very well that for the past year, the central bank all across the world have been raising interest rate. Starting with the Feds. Because rates has been inflation has been up in the US to about 8 to 9%, and in many other countries the inflation is even worse, and therefore it will be very dangerous to allow inflation to further increase and leading to further heating up of the economy. Hyperinflation will be next. So to contain inflation, the central bank have pursued what we call the contractionary monetary policy, and that is done by reducing the money supply through the application of certain monetary instrument, like the reserve requirement, or the open market operation, or using the discount window, all of which should be able to influence the money supply. But I do not want to be a bit technical here, but what we should be concerning about is the danger of inflation, meaning that inflation is like a tax on our money, a tax on our income, because maybe our $1 can buy like 2 or 3 apples, but now $1 can only buy 1 apple. So you can see that the $1 have lower purchasing power. So if we keep on working day and night to earn our salary and income, but finding out that our income is only able to command fewer goods, and therefore this sort of situation should not be allowed to persist, and therefore the authority has pursued the contractionary monetary policy in order to increase the interest rate. The interest rate is the price of credit, and we know that our spending are mostly done through lending and borrowing. Many of us have no money to purchase property and car and many more lumpy items on cash, so we usually go to the bank to take a loan, and therefore our consumption, and for businesses, for them to obtain capital, they would take a loan from the bank. So that is business spending. So business spending and consumption spending are all influenced by interest rate, because when we take a loan, the price of the loan is the interest rate. So if the interest rate goes up, so the cost of borrowing is increasing, and therefore that may deter us from buying real estate. It may deter the business from making investment now. So the consumption is influenced by interest rate, investment is influenced by interest rate. So higher interest rate should be able to cool down consumer spending as well as business spending. So that is the theoretical argument as to how higher interest rate will be able to reduce inflation, because the idea here is that inflation is caused by excess demand, and excess demand is a result of excess money supply. So when people have money to spend, and more money to spend, then there is too much money chasing too few goods, and therefore we have inflation. So the right policy is to increase the cost of credit, that is interest rate, so that we can reduce consumer spending and business spending, and that will reduce the overall demand, and hopefully that this will reduce the price level or the rate of inflation. But we want to understand how would this be able to impact the Islamic banking financing behavior. Of course, when we look at conventional banking, what we see, as I have explained earlier, that higher interest rate will reduce consumption and will reduce investment and will reduce overall demand, and therefore the price level should come down. But what is it for Islamic banking? Is there any special arrangement in the Islamic banking business where they will behave in opposite to the conventional banking operation? So this is what I'm trying to do next. So inshallah we will do it in the following video. This video is an introduction, and so I will see you again in the next video. Thank you very much. Don't forget to comment and subscribe. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.